This story made me believe God is still with us, and He is still working in mysterious ways. Stay with me until the end and witness the power of God. Many years ago, there was a couple who had everything. Money could buy expensive cars, mansions in different cities, bank accounts overflowing. They were rich, but deep inside, they were not happy. For all the years they had been married, they had no children. They tried everything. They prayed. They went to pastors. They spent money on the best doctors. The pastors told them, "Be patient. God will bless you." But the doctor said, "It's impossible for you two to have children together. If you want a child, you must divorce and remarry." The couple refused both options. They didn't believe the pastor anymore because they had waited too long, and they didn't want to listen to the doctor. Because if they divorced, everything they had worked for would be divided, and they would lose the life they built together. One night, the wife woke her husband from his sleep. She looked him in the eyes and said softly, "I want you to marry our housemaid. Let her give you a child." The husband was shocked. "No, I can't do that." But the wife insisted. She said it was the only way to have a child without breaking their marriage. The housemaid, a 25-year-old young woman, refused. At first, she didn't believe the wife's promises, but the wife kept persuading her, telling her she would be cared for and treated like family. This young woman had no parents. She had lost her father and mother long ago. She lived with an aunt and uncle who never truly cared for her. She thought maybe this could be her chance at a better life. After much convincing, she agreed. Months later, she became pregnant. The couple was overjoyed. They treated her like royalty. She didn't work anymore. She wasn't allowed to lift a finger. They protected her every day, but deep inside, she was lonely. She had no family to celebrate with. She believed the couple's promises that after she gave birth, they would introduce her to their families and make everything official. 9 months later, she went into labor. At the hospital, she noticed something strange. The wife never left her side. She kept whispering to the doctors. When the baby was born, they did not let the mother hold her. They gave the child straight to the wife. She begged to see the baby face. They refused. The only moment she touched baby was when the tiny hand wrapped around her finger, and she noticed a small mark on the palm. She heard one of the nurses quietly saying, "It's a girl." That was all she had. No face, no chance to hold her. Just the touch of her hand. Then, without another word, the wife of the man turned and walked away with the baby in her arms. That is it. That was the moment they had been waiting for. The baby was all they wanted. They never cared about the mother. The young mother lay helpless in the hospital bed, her arms empty, her heart breaking. She cried through the night, calling out for her child, but no one listened. These two couples never came back. She was left alone. The next day, a man came to her hospital bed with a large sum of money. He said the couple had sent it as payment for the baby. She refused. She shouted, she cried, she begged to have her child back. The man left with the money. A few hours later, hospital staff forced her out. She had nowhere to go. She went to her relatives and told them everything. They were angry, not because of what happened, but because she had refused the money. They threw her out. Homeless and broken, she wandered the streets until one day, an old friend of her late father saw her. He took her to another town. There she began working again as a housemaid. Slowly, she saved enough to start a small food stand selling hamburgers and sausages. 20 years passed. She was not rich, but she could feed herself. One afternoon, 3 rich young women came to her stand. They bought food left and went to eat in their car. The next day, one of them returned, then the next day, then almost every day. This girl always bought the same thing and always gave extra money. She seemed to enjoy not just the food, but also talking to the woman selling it.